There are people who find CSS boring. Yes. Look at this tweet, look at this Quora, and look at this Reddit. People out here actually find CSS boring, but I must say it is much better to say that CSS is boring than to find it difficult. Today, I'm going to show you 3 ways in which you can make CSS fun and appealing. I'm Trecia, and I'm all about teaching you how to code something superb. The first way being, change your mindset. When you have a positive mindset toward something new, then you're more likely to find enjoyment and look forward to learning it. That's the same with CSS. When you are learning CSS and you have a positive mindset towards it, then it's going to create that curiosity and enthusiasm and drive to want to learn it and become better at it. And to do this, you have to find fun ways to learn CSS. Let's learn CSS selectors in the fun way, shan't we? We have CSS Diner. So CSS Diner is a game that allows you to learn CSS selectors in a fun manner. As you can see, we have our 2 plates, and you're going to be selecting them using the type selector. And so we have our CSS editor on our left and the HTML viewer on the right. And when you pass this around, then you move on to the next level. But you're not obligated to actually go by level, and you can actually change which level you want to be. So there's a total of 32 levels, and the last one being the attribute wildcard selector. So if you want to learn CSS selectors the fun way, then CSS Diner is the website for you. And who says learning grid has to be boring when Grid Garden exists? So Grid Garden is a fun way to learn grid, and you can see that it has a total of 28 levels, and you can also skip to any level that you want. You're not really obligated to go level by level. And you can see for level 1, we are taught about the grid column start property, and to be able to accomplish this, we just need to enter this value to win this round. So let's test it out. Let me just put my cursor in here. So grid column start, I believe that's 3, and there we go. We passed that round, and now we know how to use grid column start. And so that's another way to learn grid CSS. And who says there has to be a dull moment when you're learning Flexbox when Flexbox defense exists? So Flexbox defense is a way for you to learn flex while playing a game. So when we enter the website, we're going to be greeted with this module that's going to explain to us how we are supposed to play the game. So basically our job is to stop the incoming enemies from getting past our defense. And we're going to be learning how to use properties like justify content to position this defense into the main axis. Okay, let's get started. So as you can see, we have a wave of 12 levels, and we're not obligated to go by level. We can change any level we want, but I'm going to stick with level number 1. And when we hover over justify content, we can see the values that we are going to be using. So let's see if we're able to defend our tower or something. So basically we just enter justify content, and I'm gonna say center, and let's see how that looks. Let's start the wave. And we won. The second way is to participate in CSS coding challenges. It's in the name itself. When you find something challenging, then it challenges your problem-solving skills, it challenges how you approach a problem, and it's going to test out if you really do know your CSS, and that could be fun. And you're also solving problems that you are not familiar with, which will sharpen your skills in the process. Here are some websites you can use to achieve this. To get started with CSS challenges, you can get started with Codia. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but basically this website, it allows you to explore and attempt front-end coding challenges and to submit solutions without having to replicate a given problem. So what I mean by this is that we have all these challenges here, and we have people who submit the solutions. So I'm going to click on the first one, which is a basic HTML page. And as we click on this, we're going to see that we have a few requirements to participate in this challenge. And the requirement is that we need to build an HTML page that contains the following: a header with a company logo or name, and nav links do not need to be functional. And we have a body with a header, content, and a footer. And once you have all these, then you're qualified to submit your solution. As you can see, everyone's solution looks very different, unique, and has what the requirements were. So this is a nice way to get started with coding challenges. And the second website you can use to challenge yourself is I Code This. I Code This is something I recently discovered myself, and it is a fun experience because every day is a new challenge, is a new component that you have to build out, and that is exciting and it creates anticipation. But I will admit, what I love mostly about I Code This is that they use Tailwind CSS. So if I don't feel like coding with CSS, then I can just use Tailwind CSS, and I think that is awesome. And we can see that for today, the challenge is building out a repositories list. That is a hard word to say. That's a repositories list. And you can see that there's a deadline in which you can submit your solution. So this is another way to get started into participating in coding challenges. And my other favorite website that you can use to practice out your CSS is Codewell. Codewell is perfect because it allows you to build out landing pages using HTML and CSS on real life design templates. So you are presented with a lot of designs. As you can see, we have these challenges. Let's view other challenges. And we can see we have a nav bar, we have a blog, portfolio, job board, and all these other things. And what's great about Codewell is that when you want to participate in a certain challenge, then you are able to also download the needed media to be able to accomplish building out that design. So we can look, for example, on this web developer portfolio. When we download this challenge, it's going to include assets such as icons, images, and etc. And then we have a README, and then we have PNGs that we need to see how it should look on desktop, mobile, and on tablet. And the third and final way, which is my absolute favorite, is CSS Arts. CSS Arts are a great way for you to experiment with CSS and to build something new. CSS Arts have no limits, no restrictions. It's just you and your imagination and whatever you would like to build or draw using pure code to come to life. So here are some inspirations that you can find into starting out with CSS Arts. To get started with CSS Arts, you can head over to 100daysofcss.com and you'll be represented with a challenge for the day. So my challenge for the day is day 9, and I'm supposed to be coding out this cool rainy animation in the night, and it's kind of like a weather it's a weather program. So you write down the degrees, the temperature, the wind, what day it is, and it's a weather card component. And this is a great way to get started with CSS Art. As you can see, there are people who submitted their the solutions, and they look great, and there are variations to them. So this is another way to get started with CSS Art. Okay, CSS Battle is a great way to get started with CSS because you have a lot of challenges. And by a lot, I mean like a lot. And you have many people that you have to be beating out, such as Yaron Meyers and Bio and Gabrielle and all these other people. And so it's kind of like motivation to like get to the top. The more you build, the more you replicate, the more you move up the leaderboard. So there are a lot of things that you're building. You can never run out of ideas. And this is a perfect way to get started into creating CSS art. As you can see, you have to build, I think this is an owl, and then this is a frog, an elephant, a sheep, and all these other amazing things. So if you want to get started into creating small things, CSS arts, and also I'm just realizing it now. So with every, should I say, challenge or battle, you are learning something. So for this one, you're learning how to use blocks. I believe it's like a display block or something. And then here you're learning about overflows. Here you're learning how to blend images or, um, drawings. Here you're learning about the Z index. So for every challenge that you participate in, then you know that you're learning about a certain property in CSS. So it is a great way to get started with CSS Arts and to learn about the individual properties that CSS possesses. And my absolute favorite is CodePen. CodePen is a great place to find CSS art inspirations. There are a lot of talented people out here. I promise you, look at this. CSS only commando Tanjiro. There is no JavaScript at all. As you can see, this is the HTML, a div inside of divs, and look at this. This is only CSS. I don't know how long it took this person to accomplish this. Even Son Goku. Goku is CSS only. There is no JavaScript. Here are the divs, and here's the CSS. Like, this is impressive. If that does not inspire you, then I don't know. Because, like, there are a lot of people who know how to build really cool stuff. Actually, let me just change it. Let me say CSS art. I'm sure I'll get a lot of. And there we go. We have a sphere. We have a vintage VW bug. And there is JavaScript. Oh, there's nothing here. So you can see that you can accomplish a lot of great looking things using CSS and HTML. But yeah, this is like great inspirations for anyone who wants to get started with CSS Arts. And with CSS Arts, you have no obligation as to what you should and should not build. So this is really great if you want to get started with it. I wonder how long it took some people to accomplish something like this, because you think that this is a picture and it's not. So really, if you want to get started with CSS Arts, I recommend that you get started with something small. You don't have to like code out something this big or this small. Like, this is really nice. This is simple stuff. So CSS Arts are a great way for you to explore and to really test out your CSS skills. Oh, but there's one more thing. You can be inspired to build your own game using HTML and CSS. No JavaScript at all. Look at these cool games. Okay, so did you know that you can make games only using CSS and HTML? Because that's something I did not know. So this game was built by Una Kravitz. So Una Kravitz created this game and there is no JavaScript at all. We even have this like nice little comment for us that says like no JS or images or even SVGs either. So this is amazing. And we can see we only have CSS, SAS code, and our HTML here. So how you play this game, we need to hit targets. So there's a total of, I believe, 9. Okay, so 9 targets. I already lost the game. Let me start over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I hit 5 targets. And I guess the way she made this game is using the checked property to like kind of create it to be interactive and to add all these animations. But it is kind of a great game and a great inspiration if you want to also kind of like start out building your own CSS game. And the second game I have for you, it's by the name of CSS Game. This one is really fun. This one was built by a French developer by the name of Victor. You can find his details here. So basically, once you put in your cursor in here, the game automatically starts and we must not hit any of this gray area. Okay, let's play and see if we will win this round. So, I died. Okay, one last time. And no way. Okay. 3 times the charm. Oh, and I lost. Okay. I'll win privately by myself. But anyway, these games are an awesome way to kind of like display the power that CSS has. And so CSS is amazing and is capable of a lot of things, and even creating games without depending on JavaScript to add needed functionality. And there we have it, 3 ways in which you can make CSS fun. And remember, this process is not going to take a day or a week. It's going to take some time to become adjusted to it, and hopefully it's going to help you to enjoy CSS in the coming future. Well, thank you so much for watching this video, and do make sure that you subscribe for more CSS content. I'm Trecia, and I'm all about teaching you how to code something superb, and I hope you enjoyed something about cascading style sheets today.